What's up, YouTube? This is Chris Moustache, and I must ask a bunch of questions when I watch movies or TV. I'm going to get into another review. Let's get in it. Today, I'll be reviewing the Meyerowitz stories. The Meyerowitz stories is a family drama about a sculptor who reconnects with his children because all of them are seeking closure in their family. The best part about this film is its dedicated realism. So when I say that, I mean that Noah Baumbach, the director, really put in the effort, and sorry if I pronounce that wrong, he really put in the effort to make this as realistic as possible, because sometimes with these kind of dramas, they can become a little too exaggerated, too much of the negative side of humanity or too much of the positive. So there's not a great interpretation of reality. But within this film, he does a great job portraying family in its most organic and most realist sense. Most realist, yeah, obviously a word, but realist sense, in its realist, purest form, where we see all the little nuances that go along with being in a family. A couple things like, you get annoyed at each other. There's a couple catchphrases that are used continually because you're around each other for so long. These little traits that are passed along, not just genetics, but also certain mannerisms as well. I thought the dialogue was super authentic in this movie, and if anyone is looking to make a type of dialogue that is this realistic, that is this real slice of life type, I would use this movie as a great example, because what he does, Noah Baumbach, does so great in this film is that he lets the actors interrupt each other. So they interrupt each other. So like whenever people have conversations, or any of the conversations I've ever had, sometimes people talk over each other. It's not as fluid as movies make it. Movies are, they're scripted. So obviously it always feels like there's a back and forth type of thing going on. And it feels like there's a rhythm to it. But in real life, it goes fast and it goes slow, speeds up, goes medium pace, and sometimes you interrupt each other. And then other times, and I thought this was the best part about the writing, is that you're thinking about what you're saying instead of actually listening. And sometimes when people talk, they're thinking about what they're saying before they really listen to what the other person's saying. So in this movie, you'll see scenes where Dustin Hoffman, who plays the sculptor, is talking to Ben Stiller, and, Dustin Hoffman keeps thinking about his art and really is just obsessed with talking about that, while Ben is trying to get another point across, but the dad's not listening, and there's this back and forth listening technique that's going on, and it's really well done. Going along more with how the portrayal of family is very unique and very authentic in this film, it's really amazing to see that we can see the effect of the father on the kids very visibly. And like I was saying before, he passed along certain traits to them. He has a very short temper, and he can get very angry very quickly. And in the very opening, we meet Adam Sandler, who is one of his sons, and he is just like his dad. He gets very angry without any reason and is very authentic to his father's personality. Another great thing I noticed, they said punch him in the nose a lot, which was sort of the intention of the dad when he ever gets angry at someone. And I thought that was a great way. And there's other seeds like this where we see these catchphrases, see these mannerisms that the dad has that the kids also portray and also have themselves. So with the idea of being very selfish, the father is very full of himself. That trait gets passed along to them as well, because when they talk to other people, they're also talking about themselves and thinking about themselves more importantly than someone that they're speaking to directly. I also thought this film had a phenomenal insight into the pretentiousness of certain types of artists. Again, the father is super into himself and really obsessed with his own art, his own work, and he really puts everything else to the wayside, and you'll see it as the film develops what kind of effect that had on his kids. There was also expert character development in this movie. So we really get a sense of each one of these characters, because the way the movie is split up, it's split up according to everyone in the family. So he dedicates certain parts of the movies to each person in the family. So there's a part for the dad, a part for the oldest son, a part for the daughter, and a part for the youngest son. So all of that is cut into different sections in this movie as the plot keeps going along, and focuses on those characters so we get more insight into them. And we really get a good sense of what each kind of person they are and how they fit into the family. And again, that is where the insight into the family is really great, because we see that Jean, who is the only girl in the family, she was ignored, while Adam Sandler, who's the oldest, he has a lot of inner turmoil, and the youngest is successful, and he's sort of the favorite of the group. And that was a great look into family dynamics. This film also had simple but effective cinematography. So there's a lot of stationary shots in this film, but also what they do very well is add in dollies, zoom outs to really give more energy to the talking scenes, because there's a lot of talking in this movie. There is not many breaks in between the talking, and there's not that much silence. So it really gives a visual pleasure while something, is keeps going on while your ears are listening to something else. It really captivates the eyes as well. The acting is genuine, and it really feels like it comes from an authentic place from all these characters and all these actors. And you'll see that when the film progresses, like even Adam Sandler, he's really channeling a part of himself that really comes across well on screen. Music was super organic to the film and was very much a deeper look into the story itself. Adam Sandler in this film, and I keep using his actor name because I just like using his name and not the character's name. He was a musician, so the music that's playing is very piano heavy. That is his primary instrument, so it was a great way to add another level to this film. A couple problems I had with this movie were that there was some times where they had this insight, this great epiphany about themselves and about their role in the family, and it didn't feel motivated within the context of the story. It didn't feel like it should have gone there, but you could say that that was the intention, and that was because this is a family setting, so they're more willing to be open. But my concern is, and what I don't really know as much about, is what their family dynamic was beforehand, because to really get that much revelation and much insight into themselves doesn't seem like it should have been that easy to come across, because we sort of see that this family is dysfunctional. They don't really enjoy each other's company as much. They've been estranged from each other. They rarely see each other, or we don't get as much insight into how much they really do see each other. So it's sort of hard to tell with that aspect of the film. The way the characters spoke also wasn't as unique as I would have liked. It almost felt like if you close your eyes and watch this film, that they would all sound the same. And you could say, again, that is an intention of the film. That was an intention of the director, because he wanted to really show how their father really affected all of them. But I think that the balance between using, again, this exaggerated, really heavy stroke of that type of theme, but also this hyper-realism sort of conflicts and combats each other. So I would have liked if he chose one side or the other. If he wanted to go super exaggerated and really make everyone basically like their dad, then go that route. Or the other route where everyone's very authentic, very different. Because even Ben Stiller, his character, was in LA, and he's been away from New York for a while, so maybe his way of speaking could have been a little bit differently, or just the context of what he said. So that was just a couple things I noticed I didn't really like as much about this movie. Overall, I think this movie is really good, and I would highly suggest everyone putting it on their must-watch list. It has very genuine acting that is coupled with authentic writing. The music and the cinematography add a deeper touch to this film that really adds more layers to it. But only a couple things that were issues was some of the dialogue, some of the way that the character spoke felt a little too homogeneous, and also some of the self-awareness, some of the revelations that we see don't seem as motivated. So I'm thinking I'm going to give this film an 8 out of 10. Definitely put it on your watch list. It's currently on Netflix, so check it out when you can before it goes away. And remember to subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys next time.